Jonathan Garvin, defensive end, is probably going to come off the board first. He's just kind of the most physically imposing player of those who are going to the draft. I probably think, maybe somewhere in that third round area. Just because, he got a little bit more focus on defense from the opposing offenses last year. So his numbers declined a little bit, and that kind of helped birth the monster that is, Gregory Rousseau and his record-setting season. But yeah, I would say I'd say Garvin, just because he has that physicality where he's still twitchy and he's still fast enough. I think that, your linebackers, your Pinckney and your Quarterman, they're going to slide a little bit. I think that Trajan Bandy is going to slide if he gets drafted at all, just because of size, even though he does have that dog mentality and has, pretty good statistics and metrics to his backing. The wild card, I would say, would maybe be a Jeff Thomas, but I think that his off the field concerns with, him, and you're dating back to high school where he got kicked off his high school team, earned his way back on, became an All-American, came here, got suspended a couple times, elected to leave the team before Mark Richt retired. When Mark Richt retired and Manny Diaz came back, he reconciled and came back this year, got suspended again even. So I know that those things are going to be brought up and going to be question marks. And when you have, a lot of guys who know that they have to be pristine clean, versus a guy who, whatever value you put on some of those missteps and things, there are things to talk about in terms of discipline with Jeff Thomas where there's not even a conversation with other guys. So I think that he could slide, but he is athletically gifted. So, yeah, but unless I'm forgetting somebody, I don't think that DJ Dallas would be the first one off the board. I think that DJ Dallas is like one of he could be. Yeah, I would say it's between DJ Dallas and Jonathan Garvin for first Kane off the board.
Regardless of record, which Caesars Palace came out their sports book this week, and with all the national over-under win totals, had Miami at 9, which I thought was somewhat healthy. Considering you've got to play 10, so if you're going to win money against that 9, you need Miami to win 10 games, which they certainly could. So Brown Eyes is asking, regardless of record, not saying, hey, we need to go 9-3 because we went 6-6 last year. Regardless of record, what are the 3 areas on the team that you would like to see improvement from?
Good question. Bet Online has Miami's over/under at 8.5, and I think those half ones, those are the ones that really push, business. Because, at 9, that means I got to play 10-2, which, oof, boy. 8.5, you can get 9-3, 10-2, 11-1, 12-0. So you have more options to bank that or to cash that bet if you were to do that. The 3 improvements, obviously, number 1, with a bullet times a million, has to be offensive line. That might be 1 and 2. That's how much of an impact that can have on a season. So number 1, I want to see the offensive line improve. I want to see the third downs in general, both sides of the ball, improve. That's conversions on offense and stopping them on defense. I think that we're pretty good at stopping them on defense, but hey, we can be better. So yeah, money downs on both sides, third and fourths. I want to see the offense be better at them and the defense be better at stopping them. The number 3, it's tough because I'm thinking like drop passes or eliminating drop passes. There were some really tough ones last year. Jeff Thomas, Mark Pope, Will Mallory, D. Wiggins even had some really tough drops in some places that, man, it would have been really nice to not have dropped that ball. And then I would say turning turnovers into points, because Miami did a good job of still getting turnovers. We saw the turnover chain 3.0. We saw a lot of that, stuff when we needed it, but the offense didn't spend that money. So I really want to see that. So I know I gave you 4 things, but I would say, yeah, offensive line being the number 1, of course, that has to be a lot better.